Welcome to Restart at Any Age. This is Susan Douglas coming to you from the studio of Shea Serendip in beautiful Scots Valley. Shea Serendip is a 6-acre creative sanctuary in the Santa Cruz Mountains where artists, healers, builders and dreamers gather to create a more beautiful world. You can find them on their website, sheaserendip.com, spelt Chezserendip, and they are on Instagram at Shea Serendip. So today, I'm excited to welcome back Charles Pasternakl, the artistic director of the Santa Cruz Shakespeare Company. I have spoken to Charles before, but today we're taking a different tack. Apart from the wonderful programs coming up with the Shakespeare Company, we're also exploring the unexpected, behind-the-scenes side of outdoor theatre, all the creative and surprising ways non-actors can help bring Shakespeare to life under the Cedars. Charles, welcome back.
Oh, thank you for having me back.
It's great to see you.
It's lovely to see you, and I love this new spot. I love your new setup. Yeah,
it's
nice.
very exciting.
Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's wonderful.
Yes, it's going out all over the place now, or you can find it on many, many apps. So
Great.
yeah.
Great.
So you have wonderful programs coming up for the summer, I know, and we'll talk about that a little later.
Great.
But let's jump straight into the non-actor side and, the support they can give the company in many ways. Okay?
Yeah.
So what's one completely non-theatre skill someone might have, like gardening, coding, that has surprisingly helped Santa Cruz Shakespeare the most?
It's a wonderful... I'm so glad to get to talk about this. Our theater was built in a 9-month blitz 11 years ago now, when we had to move off campus and we needed to find a new space. And we found the space in De La Viega Park, and we built it so fast. It's a miracle we built it that fast, to not miss a summer. But part of our new space has been a tradition of Saturday volunteers showing up pretty much at least half the year. We're stewards of the land, so people of all ages, all skill levels, come and help out. And at the end of a day of work, it's actually 4 hours, they get a free ticket to the season. So, you mentioned gardening. We have Peggy and Larry, two of our incredible volunteers, will tend the Shakespeare garden and a lot of the land around, and anybody with that skill set gets brought in right away. We have anybody with sort of construction skills gets brought in right away. Any of this building, chopping, setting up, sanding, raking. So I guess in a way I'm pitching our Saturday volunteer days. I don't even mean to, but just in terms of covering all these skill sets, one thing we say to people is, it doesn't matter if you have any skills. Right. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter, if you need to be in the shade and sitting down for those hours. We got something for you to do. Right. We can find something. Yeah. So these are all, and you get to be outside in our beautiful space. So now look, so that's one thing. We have volunteer ushers, people that come and help people to their seats and get to see a show for free that way. Right. Okay. And then we have people. Literally, when you look at a theater, we have a sound department, a light department, a scenic construction crew. The number of technical facilities we need. Now, these are levels of a degree of expertise, so more so than the volunteers. But if anybody out there has that level of expertise, has worked in those things, these are things theater needs. Theater is a gargantuan collaboration of so many artistic elements, technical elements, and just feet on the ground volunteer support elements. It is a truly communal process, even at a professional level such as ours. Yes, that's right. So, I don't know, I can get more specific about any of that if it's helpful, but it covers a huge range of things we need when we take care of our theater and get ready for our season every year.
Okay. So, have you ever had a volunteer whose day job was totally unrelated to theatre, but they ended up solving a problem that no one else could?
Oh, what a lovely question. I'm probably not the one to ask, outside of saying, I mean, I guess it's important to remember our board members are volunteers, right? They're donors. They're donors.
Yeah.
And I don't know if nobody else could have solved it, but it was a miracle what he did. Rick Wright, our previous board president, he's still on the board, but he's no longer president.
Okay.
Was the architect of our theater.
Oh.
And led the construction. He has no history in architecture. He has a tech background.
Okay.
No history in. I mean, he's a handy guy.
Yes.
And he likes going out and doing that. And so he's got skills, but he's never worked in construction. He designed and led this charge. Now, I should also call out Chris Frost, our current board president, who was sort of at Rick's side. The two of them led the charge on getting the space ready. Neither of them have experience as architects, neither of them in construction, even though they're both handy guys and like to play around with power tools.
Yes.
And these are volunteers. And, Rick was partially retired at the time and is fully retired now. It's a miracle what they pulled off. And Rick was also the architect for the new building we just built on site, which contains our offices, our dressing rooms, storage space, and he and Frost are in there with our volunteers every Saturday and often many days elsewhere during the week. You name a construction skill you need in that space and they're doing it.
That's
now
amazing.
They're bringing in experts for electrics and things like that.
Yeah.
But that is an example.
Yes.
He had no professional experience doing those things, and he did it.
It's a wonderful example of what you can turn your hand to when you have the determination.
Yeah, and you believe in something enough.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful theatre. I
Yeah,
mean,
thank
it's
you.
so magical there.
Well, and we one beauty of it being ours. This wasn't true on campus, magical though the campus space was.
Yeah.
Was we can, if we see a problem, we can actively address it. And Rick and Frost are central in that. We can say, hey, we don't like this row, or this sight line's not good, or this, that, or the other, and we can make it better. We can make it better, which is wonderful.
Yeah. So if the Grove could talk, what about, would it complain most about anything that the volunteer could quietly fix?
Volunteers have quietly fixed a number of problems in amazing and innovative ways over the last decade.
Yeah.
Does the Grove have any? The Grove doesn't have any problems. We have like so many places, we don't quite have enough parking. I don't know that a volunteer could fix that.
No.
Now, volunteers could be a part of the brainstorm. We've got a lot of brainstorms going for ways to fix this.
Yeah.
And it could involve more parking on site, which would, again, we're stewards of the land there, so anything we do to change aspects of the site outside of the immediate purview of the theater, there's a balancing act we have to do elsewhere.
Right.
So there's the question of, do we put in the work there? Or do we try to raise money for a parking structure? Again, things volunteers can't really help with. Or do we continue to create a culture where, we charge X amount for parking, but if you show up if you carpool with at least 3 other people, so 4 to a car, parking is free.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So that's a good point to know. Actually.
So that's
Yeah.
So do we continue raising the price if you don't carpool? Right? Now people aren't going to like that. We always have to balance those things. But at the same time, you do see a result. It does cause people to either carpool more or drive less.
Yeah.
Bike more.
Yeah.
Creating shuttle systems. So we're getting a little off the beaten track. But parking is something we bang our heads against every year.
Right.
And the more successful we are, the more we're going to bang our heads against it.
Yes.
And so I don't know that any single volunteer could solve it, although if any of your listeners hear this and go, I can solve it, please call me.
Yes. Right.
But if not, but the brainstorm continues. And that's another wonderful thing about these Saturday volunteer days, or any volunteer days, is that you're up there with us.
Yeah.
We're chipping away, and you're part of the brainstorm as we look at a problem.
Yes.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, so that leads me to ask, what's a weird or quirky task that happens behind the scenes during a show that almost no one knows about, but it makes everything magical?
Oh, that's fun. It's very charming, our assistant stage managers, when they're under the stage, because we're using our trapdoors, especially last year when we were using an elevator in the trapdoor. And so you never see them down there, or at least you're not supposed to. But they're huddled up. They're very cute. Sometimes they play little jokes. It's like the trap opens, an actor can see them, even though nobody in the audience can.
Right.
And so sometimes they're making,
I was going to say that could make you giggle.
It could. You know, we are professionals, but that doesn't mean that
so you don't giggle in the middle of the.
But that doesn't mean there's no practical jokes. So that's really sweet. You know, it's like there's also the unheralded. It's like we have dressers back there helping actors with quick changes.
Right.
If you watch a video of them, they're miraculous. And sometimes when a show opens, you could see this a lot with Into the Woods last year. Mm-hmm. When a show opens, there are a few changes that even when we open, we're like, oh boy, I hope they make that. By closing, it's all, they've practiced, they've done it so much, they can get arrogant about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, a healthy arrogance. They can enjoy an arrogance about it because they've done it so much they know it's there. So these dressers are the miracle workers backstage.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the show, they take all your clothes, they wash them, they wash the sweat out of them, they take care of it. It's like so the dressers deserve all the praise in the world, both for the magic they help make directly behind the scenes,
right,
but also the magic they make after the show. They're the last people there.
Yeah, well, that's not an easy task to take care of clothes like that because they're often, highly constructed.
Yeah, it's not an easy task. You have to be very careful about what you wash and how. Right. And then there's a chunk of clothes that you never wash. It's a once or twice a week trip to the dry cleaners. And because we work in rep, meaning show A, show B, show C, show A, show B, show C, you have a very strict schedule about when it could go to the dry cleaners and when you need it back and how it gets washed and when. We got to be very careful. I mean, we rarely do the same show twice in a day.
Right.
Sometimes with a student matinee, it happens. Yeah. And whenever we do that, we always have to be very careful. Is there enough time between this day show and this night show to get the costumes back?
Yeah.
So anyway.
So do you have people that actually sew the clothes for you, or are they sourced from out? Oh, you could
both. Yeah. We have a whole professional costume shop. Okay. It's an amazing group. Here's another place for volunteers. If you have any volunteers, I'll say older, although it could be any age, but I know that this may, that are good sewers, passionate about building clothes, helping with clothes. Those kind of volunteers in our costume shop are always incredibly helpful.
Yes.
But our costume shop is professional. We have a costume shop manager. We have 3 professional designers. All 3 of them have professional assistants. And then a shop of cutters, drapers, stitchers, a few interns. Yeah. And that group builds 3 shows for the summer right now. Yeah. All at the same time. Yeah. And yes, we source out a lot of things depending on when the show is set. So we can get some stuff, a lot of vintage shopping. Sometimes we raid other theater companies' costume stores, and they raid ours in return. And but we do builds. Each designer I think gets 3 specialty builds. Yeah. Where the team is focused on building something mostly from scratch. Right. And then around the edges, if there's time, if there's energy, there might be a few small builds around the edges too. So we have an amazing costume shop, and that is a wonderful place for potential volunteers if they're interested.
Yeah, but it's good to know that you actually have interns there too for the local youth. I mean, that's a wonderful idea.
It is a wonderful thing, and for the first time this year, I think we have a high school intern or 2. Normally, our interns are connected with colleges, and there are certain rules for internships in California and how they work. And so we have interns as our director in our director dramaturgy area, and we have interns in our costume shop. Mm-hmm. Our actors and stage managers this year are apprentices, so it's a slightly different setup. And I won't go into all the nitty-gritty because it can get boring. But for the first time, also we have some high school interns that are full volunteer interns this year, but they get a real professional credit, probably the first for doing it. So these are all really exciting things.
Yeah, wonderful place to be, living in Santa Cruz because you can get this access.
I grew up at a theater. Theater in Los Angeles, similar. And I started in their camps when I was 8. Yes. I think the first paycheck I ever made was mucking out bathrooms. I made like $10 an hour, and maybe I was 13 or 14 when I started doing that, and essentially from then till 18, I worked every job in the theater there. Box office, house management, helping hang lights, set up sound. I never really touched electrics, but things around those things.
Right.
And you know, those were all my jobs till I was 18. Was being at a theater. It started volunteering, and then slowly but surely, when they could see I was working at something, they started paying me. So
it sounds like a destiny. I mean, you know, it was always in your life. So when did you decide that, okay, I'm going to act now?
Somewhere, you know, around, I don't know, around 16, I loved acting. There were other things I loved. And in my high school, I had to make a choice between the baseball team and the drama department because they were eating up too much time. I couldn't split my time the way I had been for the first year or two.
Right.
And I chose theater. And I don't know that I chose theater knowing, like, I'm going to be an actor now. But there was certainly... Now, I don't think I ever would have been a professional baseball player, let's be clear. But I did choose theater. For a number of reasons. I don't know that any of them immediately were me saying I'm going to be an actor, but it did coalesce over the next few years.
Yeah.
To the point when I finished high school, I was committed to just diving into the industry. Yeah.
So for someone who's never acted but loves Shakespeare, what's a way to help that actually deepens their own personal relationship with the plays?
Expertise breeds love. Expertise breeds love. The more you know about this, both Shakespeare himself, but also the practical nature of putting on his work, of how he approaches work. Santa Cruz Shakespeare has adult education, and actually we just started we have adult book clubs. They do cost money, but we give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the show works, and there are participant prices and auditor prices. And if you're participating, you're assigned roles every week. You work with whoever leads the book club. I led the Much Ado book club in February. My education director, Rebecca Clark, is running the Macbeth book club now.
And this is all online?
It's all online. It's all on Zoom. And we lead you through the play in the same way that directors and actors, our actors and directors work in our rehearsal rooms, doing text work around the table, making decisions about the play, asking questions. And we also do an Undiscovered Shakespeare program with Sean Kylan, the UCSC Shakespeare Workshop, and the Humanities Institute.
Yes.
And where we read a play in 3 parts, the scholarly discussion and then Q&A after. There are wonderful groups in town, not only peripherally associated with Santa Cruz Shakespeare, but there's the Saturday Shakespeare Club that meets at the Aptus Library. There's Ollie, an online program for adult retired learners that, I mean, is much bigger than just Shakespeare, but many of our dramaturgs have worked teaching those classes. If you want to deepen your enjoyment of Shakespeare, deepen your understanding of it, like anything, right? If you get excited about a band and you deep dive the band and start learning everything about them, you love them more.
Yes.
It's a self-feeding cycle, and to me the great thing is that the greater the work of art or artist you fanboy or fangirl over, the more reward it has to offer you. And I think Shakespeare is one of the greatest that ever lived. And the more you nerd out on him, the more you're going to enjoy the work.
Yes, of course.
And the more informed, critical opinions you get.
Yeah, because it was such a different time. The language totally different, but you know, so it's not an easy way to understand totally what he's getting at unless you've kind of studied it a little.
I think that's true. I would say I think his language is closer to us than we think. You know, this is not Old English in the sense of Chaucer. It's actually modern English. It's just early modern English, and it was still evolving. And one great thing about studying Shakespeare is it doesn't take long for you to reach a point where you can read his plays like anything else. You know,
right?
It really doesn't take long. I often compare it to subtitles in movies. You know, early you're for the first 5 or 10 minutes you're kind of aware of it, but then it's easy to forget follow. And it doesn't take much. It takes less than people think. Most of the language means the same thing now as it did then. Sometimes the construction of it is a little strange, and there's an archaic word or phrase, but it doesn't take long to break through that. And so I encourage people to read the plays aloud. Try to read them aloud with other people. Santa Cruz Shakespeare has some amazing adult education programs, and we're always expanding them. And there are other wonderful community groups to also tap into. But ideally, read it aloud and with other people.
So who actually leads the groups if people attend to read the play?
Well, so for our book clubs, we do one book club for each of the summer shows we're going to do.
Okay.
Again, under the belief that expertise breeds love, that if you get this inside look at the play in February, like we did with Much Ado, then when you see Much Ado on our stage during the summer, you'll have all this insight into
absolutely.
it. And you will.
Yeah.
And one lovely thing is I'm directing Much Ado this summer, and I led the book club. So the book club got to look at my early cuts. Right. They got to hear some of my early ideas for the play. And this was true when we did this last year for Pericles, I learned a few things in the book club from their questions and our brainstorm that ended up in the summer show.
Yes.
So they got to feel a little sort of prideful ownership.
Yeah.
I mean that in a positive way. Of a moment or two that the book club helped discover. So I'm learning too. So I'd say expertise breeds love. Who leads them? If I'm directing one, I'll lead that book club.
Right.
And my education director, who is also a gorgeous director herself, she directed Master Harold and the Boys for us last year.
All right. And her name?
Rebecca Haley Clark.
Okay.
She leads the other one. And so it's a great pair. And then for Undiscovered Shakespeare, I usually sort of rally the actors. Sean Kylan usually rallies the scholar, and then he and I sort of tag team the whole effort. And it's wonderful. And you just the more you know, the more you'll love it.
Right. Talking about love. So what's something that the company desperately needs that money can't buy, but a person's time, heart, or any talent?
Wonderful. We desperately need housing. We desperately need people that are willing to donate or rent for below market rate. Donating is much better for us, but I understand that not everybody can afford that. Or potentially rent below market rate. Guest houses, guest rooms. For our union actors need their own space, but they can share a kitchen area and things like that. Our non-union actors, we have a little more flexibility. Sometimes with our apprentices, it can just be a guest room. Anybody with even if you think you might have housing,
yes,
get in touch with me.
Right.
And my company manager will look more closely. Sometimes there are certain housing offers that don't work because it just doesn't line up with needs. But housing, as I'm sure most of your listeners know, Santa Cruz is the most expensive rental market in the country.
Yes, indeed.
Now, it's not necessarily the highest cost of living or maybe the highest real estate market, but for renting, for rentals, we beat New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco. This is the most expensive rental market in the country,
Correct.
3 years running.
Yes.
And how do we bring a world-class company here? Housing. We have to be able to put them up.
Exactly.
And so we have we do already have a lot of gorgeous, generous supporters, but that is the thing we could use most, is donated housing.
Right.
Granny suites and sort of separate units or apartments are ideal, but even guest rooms, if there's some separation in the house, and again, even at some point, a guest room with no separation for some of our people can work.
Right.
Ideally, it's, we need it for the summer, sometimes into the fall, but we also have shorter term options for our designers who come in for 2 weeks or something like that. So the big thing we need, now, you say that money could buy this, but the amount of money we'd need to do it is astronomical.
Yes.
So, and what some people do have in Santa Cruz, based on just generational inheritance and things like that, is I know a lot of wonderful people that are not particularly wealthy. They can't necessarily, they support us, they like seeing the shows, but they can't afford to be big donors.
Right.
But they do have a house.
Right.
And in that house there is a sort of guest room set up.
Yes.
And so that is an incredibly generous thing to offer us, even if you can't support us in a different way.
Right. Right.
So that's kind of magical.
Yeah.
And then, I'll return to our need for volunteers, our need for people that come and clean the grove, volunteer to table with us, as in showing up at random events that we organize, not we organize, but we organize the calendar.
Right.
But sitting at a table with our materials, passing it out, talking well about the company.
Yes. Yeah. Well, one idea on accommodation is, could you get hotels with guest suites or something like that to get involved in sponsorship for some of your people?
We've talked about it with some hotels, and there have
Yeah.
been some hotels that have offered us some lovely sort of discount deals.
Yeah.
But no, it's backbreakingly expensive. I mean, and summer is travel time, so
Right.
that's when
Well,
they're
that's
making their
true.
money.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Maybe there would be mileage in exploring some local motels or hotels for winter housing if I needed more of it for my Christmas Carol. But at the moment, I don't.
Yeah.
You know, we put up 2 or 3 people for Christmas Carol, and we have some very generous people that help us do that. But
right. So
but for the summer, when we have, you know, we have a permanent staff of, you know, about 8 or 9 at Santa Cruz Shakespeare. When the summer comes, we have a staff of over 100. You know.
Wow. Okay.
So now, not all of them are being housed. Many of them are local,
Yes.
which we take pride in too. Hiring local artists and artisans and putting that money, by paying them, that money goes back into our community.
Sure.
I take great pride in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not possible to stage a world-class company with just locals.
No, of course not.
So
Yeah.
it's the
And
housing.
you've already been on your casting tour, I believe.
Yes, I have. We
Yes.
have our 2026 company locked up. It's going to be
Fantastic.
one of the finest Santa Cruz has ever seen.
Really.
And I would hold it up as one of the finest in the country. I think that, I think that's been true for the last few years. I'm very proud of the companies I have gathered, but
Yeah.
I do think that this year's company is of a truly world-class level. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to choose my production or
Yes,
two.
yes, please, absolutely,
Absolutely. So, do you have any kind of funny stories of things that have happened in past productions that you can relate?
Sure. I mean, there's a ton. You know, people love it when things go wrong.
Yes.
Right. And what's amazing about something going wrong is how quickly the audience is on your side.
Uh-huh.
You know, I love the opening chorus of Henry V saying, you know, well, I won't go through the whole speech, but to paraphrase it, he essentially is saying, you need to lean forward and lend us your imagination. You need to be a part of this creation process.
Yeah.
And if an audience takes that seriously, then they're on your side. Audiences love previews, right? Because they're still rehearsals. Something could still go wrong. Things aren't sort of laid out yet.
Right.
Things could go wrong in live performance, and people love it.
Yeah.
And suddenly you feel them on your side. They
Right.
want you.
Yeah.
They're not sitting back,
Right.
you know, saying, well, how are you going to get out of this one? You know, they're really, you can feel the energy of people rooting for you.
Yeah.
Which is not true when nothing goes wrong. You know, the sort of lean back, impress me
yes.
attitude
Yeah.
can unfortunately settle in sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell everybody at the beginning of every performance, please lean in.
Yes.
Don't lean back, lean in.
Right.
And you know, famously Nathan Lane, I think, intentionally added a mistake to every performance of the producers for this reason.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because suddenly an audience they leap onto your side.
Yeah.
What a wonderful
Interesting
thing to
psychology.
create in positivity
Yes.
with an audience. I don't want to say all audiences are negative, they're not, but I think we all understand, especially if you spent, you know, $70-$80 on your ticket. Maybe you're
Sure.
tired, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
You know, you might not even be at the theater tonight if you hadn't bought that ticket a month ago.
Right.
And so you sort of sit back and
Yeah.
wait to judge. And
Yeah.
I can have empathy, but I would always urge somebody to try to shake themselves out of that. Get a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Look up at the stars. We work in such a beautiful place.
I know. Yes.
Enjoy the event of it. Anyway, I'm getting way off your question. But I'm talking around it in a way. Mistakes. I mean, I can remember plenty from my own career. But if I'm thinking about the Grove stage and Santa Cruz Shakespeare.
Or even mistakes with volunteers, you know, somebody just doing something entirely the wrong way when you know, when it's vital they do it the opposite, that kind of thing.
Yeah, nothing leaps to mind.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it has happened.
Right.
I'm sure it has happened. You know, there are always happy mistakes in terms of props or scenic pieces. Sometimes we discover something that's amazing when, we didn't know what to do with the birds in Into the Woods last year.
Right.
And our costume designer finally came up with this sort of finger puppet idea.
Yeah.
And that was an idea built on necessity. And so all the other actors, all the ensemble members in the show suddenly became birds. This was part of nobody's plan, but it was just sort of what it had to be when we resolved how we were going to manage Cinderella's birds, and we didn't want it to just be sort of one of those little puppet hang things.
Yeah,
so
right.
anyway, that's not really a mistake. No, I don't have a good answer to your question in terms
Yeah.
of the Grove itself, but
Yeah.
but I love mistakes in theater as long as a group of professionals are there to sort of fix it and try to get the play back on track.
Yeah. Well, I want to turn now to your collaborations. I've just seen
Please.
the most marvellous performance
Thank you so much.
in which you starred.
Yes,
Would
yes.
you like to tell us all about it?
Sure, I did a collaboration with Daniel Stewart and the Santa Cruz Symphony of a Amadeus, and I guess the elevator pitch on this is, you know, where Amadeus the play is really a long play with the music of Mozart in it.
Mm-hmm.
Danny put together an incredible evening of Mozart's music and interlaced some pieces from the play.
Right.
And so
it was wonderful. I saw.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Me and 3 other actors enacted scenes, sort of, but there was a central through line. Danny's a wonderful adapter, and he kept the sort of through line of Salieri's life and jealousy with Mozart.
Yes.
And I played Salieri. I had an amazing time. Danny's a wonderful collaborator. I work with the symphony again in the second.
Yeah.
At some point, I'd love to get them up to the Grove.
Yes.
So
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
that'd be lovely, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm very proud.
Yes.
Love doing it,
Mm.
and I love Danny and the Santa Cruz Symphony. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
great.
between the acting, the symphony, and the chorus.
Right. We should mention the Cabrillo Music Chorus. 85
Yes.
singers.
Oh,
Amazing.
they were gorgeous.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And to hear, I can't tell you how incredible it feels to be an actor on a stage and to hear an orchestra and a chorus, just that sound rising up behind you.
Oh, and it gives you goosebumps
It gives
as
you- yeah.
an audience member, I can tell
It's
you.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that, and then at the moment I am in rehearsals. I'm preparing for Vincent, a one-man show about Vincent van Gogh, which will go up at the Vets Hall downtown. This is a part of our season. It's our first a toe step into the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a part of the Ripple Effect Festival, which is a new arts festival coming to Santa Cruz.
Right.
I was at the ribbon cutting for it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very proud of this group of people making it happen. We'll see how it turns out. This is the first year. But Vincent will overlap with that and be a part of that.
Yeah.
So it runs, we open the last Friday in April and the first 2 weekends of May.
Right.
Tickets and info is all up on our website, santacruzshakespeare.org.
Yes.
And I'm very proud. So we did this collaboration with the symphony. We're doing a one-man show before our summer. I'm very proud to be expanding our blueprint, our footprint in Santa Cruz outside of the summer. We've expanded very nicely into the fall and have Christmas Carol established. That's happened over the last few years. We really haven't. We have this digital slate in the spring, which is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Our book clubs, our Undiscovered Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But now we're also adding some live performance elements, which
Yeah.
I'm very proud of.
So has it given you any insights into Vincent van Gogh?
I mean, yeah, a dozen. It's a brilliant play. Tells the story of his life and the story of his relationship with his brother Theo. It's based on their letters. Leonard Nimoy of Star Trek fame adapted this for himself, which he played it and I think toured the country with it.
Really? That's a switch. Whoa.
Yeah. I think it was back in the 80s or maybe it was the 90s. And he based it on another play, I think just called Van Gogh by Philip Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the version that's come down. So I did this in Santa Barbara in 2022.
Okay.
They had a Vincent van Gogh exhibit coming through their museum, and the museum hooked up with the local professional theater and for a collaboration. This was the idea. I got hired. I got brought up to do it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And now I'm very happy to get to bring it to Santa Cruz. Unfortunately, we don't have a Van Gogh exhibit coming through town, but the show is filled with projections of Vincent's life, his work, the incredible output in his last year.
Yeah. Stunning work.
Yeah. So as far as insight, yes, you learn a ton. It is dramatically, incredibly well written and exciting. About 80 minutes without an intermission, but yes, you learn a ton of insights into that incredible, brilliant, somewhat occasionally spoiled man.
Yeah.
And a real revelation to discover his brother, who was absolutely instrumental in his survival, in his ability to work the way he did, and to Vincent getting his first exposure in the professional art world.
Right.
Teo was a pretty amazing man, and tragically died very shortly after Vincent did. But
so again, where can we find the tickets?
This is at santacruzshakespeare.org.
Yeah.
All information is up there. It runs at the Vets Hall in downtown Santa Cruz. You can look at the last weekend of April and the first 2 weekends of May.
Right. Okay, got that one clear.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Now you've got some wonderful productions coming up for the summer. Do you want to list them?
Yeah, I'd love to. We're doing Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah.
Which I will be directing. We're doing Macbeth, directed by Paul Mullins, and starring Dan Donahue and his wife Paige Lindsay White. We're doing Fences by August Wilson, which is our first August Wilson in the history of this company. I'm very proud of that. Susan Dallion will direct, and Derek Lee Whedon will be starring as Troy. And then in the fall, I'm very proud, for the first time, we're doing 2 shows in the fall instead of 1. We're expanding it into a repertory 2.
Yeah.
So we'll be starting with Private Lives by Noel Coward, his great comedy.
Very well known.
And I and Paige Lindsay White will star in that. Laura Gordon is directing that. And Laura Gordon is also directing the other fall show, The Last 5 Years, which is a 2-hander musical.
Okay.
It's a beautiful piece.
I don't know so much about that. What explain that?
Yeah, it's by Jason Robert Brown, and it tells the story of a marriage, the 5 years of a relationship. But the two singers go in different directions. She starts at the end of the relationship. She starts with the divorce, and her songs take us backwards in time. And he starts at the beginning of the relationship when they've met and are falling in love, and move forward in time, and they overlap at the wedding in the middle.
Yes.
It's a sad show, but it's also filled with hope and joy and humor, and it's really kind of miraculous what you can do with 2 singers, and we'll have a live pianist and cellist for it. So all the music will be live for the last 5 years, which is very exciting. So that is our summer fall season. So Much Ado About Nothing, Macbeth, Fences, Private Lives, and The Last 5 Years.
Yes.
All those tickets are at santacruzshakespeare.org.
Yes.
And of course, we end the year with Christmas Carol.
Of course.
And this year, unlike last year where we sort of put Carol tickets on sale later and did a special day for it.
Right.
We just, with such a big season, we wanted to sort of make everything available at once.
Okay.
So Christmas Carol's tickets are now on sale as well.
Right.
I say now, we're recording this in April. At the moment, all of these tickets, Vincent tickets are on sale to everyone. But the summer fall tickets and Christmas Carol are only on sale to members.
Right.
So we have a membership company, a membership model. So sort of like public radio.
Yeah.
Some people pay X amount a month.
Yeah.
Or X amount a year.
Yeah.
So if you're a member, you can buy tickets now. The general public can buy tickets May 1st.
Right.
And that will be to all those shows.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm incredibly proud. All the information's at santacruzshakespeare.org.
Very good. Very good. So let's flip back to volunteers.
Please.
And there's someone at home sitting on their couch thinking, I'm too old, too shy, too uncoordinated. What would you say to inspire them to get off that couch and into the grove?
Lovely. Well, I guess it depends on what they're resisting. But let's say shy. Let's say, even if you're shy and old, whatever you define that as.
Yeah.
There are lots of volunteer things at the Grove where you don't have to interact with many people. There are show days where we need ushers. Those ushers need to be actively socializing with people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But these Saturdays, there are people pulling weeds. There are people raking. You cannot be too old to not be able to help us in some way.
Right.
There are things where you could sit down cleaning signs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could, if you have computer skills, it wouldn't be a Saturday, but I'm sure our volunteers could use somebody to help with the filing process and things like that online.
Yeah.
I'd say any skill set. Any skill set we can probably put to use.
Right.
Let us know that you have it. If you go to santacruzshakespeare.org/volunteer, we have a sort of sign-up form where you can say what you're interested in, what your skill sets are.
Yeah.
And we have a volunteer committee that organizes these things.
Yeah.
And And even if you don't think you have a skill set, which is crazy, everybody does, but even if you don't, if you just show up on a Saturday, some very, very nice people will tell you what you can do to help. And you'll be helping us set up for the season. You know, we've been talking about expertise breeding love. This is also an expertise that breeds love, right?
Yes.
Now you get to know this theater,
how
it gets built every time you're entering a community.
Yeah.
You start feeling ownership of it, so you start and with that you start feeling deeper love for it. It's a really special and wonderful thing, and I hope anybody hearing this that is interested in any kind of volunteering will reach out to us.
Right.
There are lovely opportunities, and we need the support.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a very exciting season coming up.
Thank you.
Now, one thought I've had is this is the 3rd year of the Christmas Carol.
Yes.
You want the same people to keep coming back, or are you trying to attract new people? Because, you know,
both.
How would you keep it kind of different and a bit fresh?
Well, it's a good question. We change something. We change things every year. This year we're adding live music to it.
Okay.
And the director isn't finalized yet, but once we have a finalized directing team, if it changes, that'll bring a new point of view to it. So both. You know, the answer is both. I want new people and I want people coming back. I want to create a tradition in Santa Cruz of a holiday ritual.
Yes.
Which is what Christmas Carol is all over this country, at almost every major theater you can name.
Yes.
And I want it to be the constant doorway to kids and to hesitant theater goers, to theater goers who maybe are a little intimidated by Shakespeare or by coming up to an outdoor festival grove. I encourage anybody to try it. You'll find it a lot less intimidating than you may think. But Carol is this gateway.
Yeah.
It's a simple show, not in a negative way. It's a simple show in a very positive way. It tells a sort of Christmas myth.
Yeah.
And it's simpler. Ours is very loyal to Dickens' original novella, which is simpler than most adaptations make it. You know, ours is now we could have an aesthetic debate about whether somebody likes it or not, but ours is much closer to Dickens than almost any other adaptation you'll see anywhere.
Right.
And I take great pride in that. We're a theater of language, and we're doing a writer of language, so let's honor that.
Yeah.
And so I want both.
Yeah.
Now, are there going to be some people who are like, "Oh, I saw it last year. I don't really want to see it again."
Yeah, that's
sure.
That's my kind of
That's
buzz
okay.
behind it. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that's again, every major theater in this country does it every year.
Yeah.
And that feeling doesn't sink it. Hopefully, those people will come back every other year or every 3rd year.
Right.
Because it will evolve and change every year. So if you skip a few years, you'll see a very different show a few years down the line. But there are also a lot of people that don't want it to be that different.
Yeah.
They want their Nutcracker every year.
Right.
They want.
Well, that's true.
They want their Messiah every year.
Yes, they do.
You know, they want their candlelight mass every year. They want their tradition.
Yeah.
Where the beauty and honor of the season returns to them.
Yeah.
And I want Carol to be that for them too.
Yeah.
So it is threading a needle.
Right.
And I am doing this in a community that has never had a Christmas Carol.
Right.
So I get this question, and I appreciate the question, and I love being able to talk about it.
Yes.
It's really healthy. But for Bay Area folks, they were going to the same Christmas Carol at ACT for 25 years.
Oh, there we are.
They only stopped it a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that was almost certainly a mistake. Now, I'm not running that theater, but...
well, that's all right. You're here now, so...
Yeah, and I'm
very... They can travel to Santa Cruz.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. And they'll see a very, very wonderful version.
Yeah.
So, if somebody says, I don't want to see it every year, I understand. I get it. I don't feel that way. And I think there's a lot of audience members that don't feel that way. They
like
be happy.
tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's
Yeah.
Christmas. We're going to the Christmas Carol.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I do, and I know that's true for many of our audience.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a gateway to younger audiences and to people in the community where theater is a little less of their sort of consistent tradition, but maybe they like to see something now and then. And I think Carol is a doorway. And if you fall in love with it, which I think most people will,
Yes.
maybe you're on the mailing list. Maybe you go check out something at the Grove.
Yes.
Maybe you're excited enough that you give us more of a chance.
Yes.
And so that's my hope for Christmas Carol.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're jumping far into the future.
We are. We are.
So, yeah. But of course, you're always welcome back here.
Please.
When you have your new programs,
Yes.
or anything additional to what's been going on.
Anytime you want to talk, I'm happy to be here. I love your program. I love how you're evolving. I love this new space. I love the new focus on volunteering and, ways to spend our time.
Right.
Ways to honor local organizations and to lift them up.
Yeah.
It doesn't take. You don't need money.
Mm.
Money's always helpful, but you don't need it.
Mm.
You can do great service to wonderful organizations. You can change lives. You can fill your time and your heart.
Yeah.
And so for you to be doing a show now that sort of focuses on that, I tip my cap to you.
Oh, thank you.
And everything you're doing. Always happy to talk about it.
Yeah, indeed.
So let's pop back on.
We'll talk
down
again
the line.
for sure.
Great.
This is a regular now.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you so much to Charles for this inspiring conversation about Santa Cruz Shakespeare. Beautiful plays, talented actors, and especially the amazing volunteers who make it all happen in so many ways. If today's interview moved you, please consider volunteering with Santa Cruz Shakespeare. It's a wonderful way to give back, meet great people, and support live theatre right here in our community. Sign up at santacruzshakespeare.org/support/volunteer. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to Start at Any Age with me, Susan Douglas, for more uplifting conversations. Until next time, keep Shakespeare alive and see you at the Grove. Playing you out with Madame Bro Sylvie. I'm
Acabei de alcançar o mar. Esse é o lugar pra se adequar. É bom seu ar só pra relaxar. Vou caminhar, depois nadar. Pegar o barco e mergulhar. Minhas feridas vão cicatrizar. Não tenho medo, basta sonhar.